Hi. Okay, I want to make a video on something that I'm going through in my process of learning, that, you know, thinking my version of deep, which is different forms of activation of medicine do different things, right? We've got, it's quite noisy out there, isn't it? Let me just shut the window. Okay, so we've got medicine we all know about. We all know about what's medicine, what's good and bad for us. But let's talk a little bit about, me talk and have your opinions on the difference between localizing the medicine to a particular area and activating it, in my opinion, in a more powerful way versus a general activation, which is still good, don't get me wrong, via, for example, eating or drinking medicine, whether that be urine, fruits, you know, even fasting, you could argue is it's like a general activation as opposed to a local activation, all these kind of things. There is a difference, and ideally we should be doing both, but I want to promote the idea of, this is what I do, and I've been thinking about it with accidental experimenting on myself, localized medicine. And what do I mean by localized medicine? General medicine would be eating a fruit, fasting, grounding with your feet to the ground, that's general medicine. Urine, drinking, aged urine, drinking through the mouth, or even through the nose. These are all, well, not even for the nose, just for the mouth. It's general medicine because it goes into the bloodstream digestive system and it works through. Now, localized medicine, I think, is the next level. And if I had to choose one or the other, I'd do both, but I'd choose the local medicine. What I mean by localized medicine is we can use the power activation called the skin, right, and get the medicine into a local area, right? So let's go deep a little bit with this. Think about grounding. Our ancestors would have been grounding pretty much 24/7, and a lot of the time with our feet to the ground. Now this is good because we know that these negative ions, which are invisible, get transferred from any skin contact at that point into the entire avatar system, right? Now, the longer you ground with your feet to the ground, like our ancestors did for a long time, so say you grounded for 2 hours walking barefoot in the park, now eventually, hear me here, don't want to confuse people, this is my opinion as well, but I think it's true, eventually, from dot one, when you ground with any part of your body, so say your feet to the ground, the medicine goes straight in, a little bit, goes straight into the entire system, because when you ground, for the first second, you get a deep breath, and that's going straight to the lungs. The negative ions going straight away, right? However, it doesn't fully ingratiate itself into the system, grounding, in the first couple of minutes. It takes a while, right? And this is what I call non-localized medicine, general medicine. So if you're grounding, so say you've had your feet on the ground for the first 5 minutes, some of the medicine is getting into the head and the lungs, but most of it is stuck predominantly at the feet. Now it takes, according to science, it takes 40 minutes for the blood to thin. So that's an example of how long it takes for the medicine to get fully into the system. Now the longer you ground, the more opportunities for the medicine to get not just from a localized into the feet and a little bit everywhere, but into the proper nook and cranny. And then it becomes power activation. But what if you localize the medicine? And what I mean is, like I did today, at the midday, I just come back, I was lying on the ground, I'm just in my Kaniki Town Free shorts. Now my back, my entire, as opposed to what I normally do, which is just sometimes my lower legs and my feet are on the ground, grounding, always grounding in the park, right? But this time I lied down, right? And I put my entire back system to the ground. So now I've activated more skin flesh into grounding. So the more skin you expose to ground, the more medicine goes in. But this is what I mean by localized medicine. So now what's happening? So you're lying down, your feet are on the ground still, but now your back is exposed to the ground. Hold it there. The negative ions are going to infuse from the back. What have you got in your back? You've got your spine. Fucking amazing shit. So the medicine's going straight to the spine. No wasting time, like doing 40 minutes to an hour grounding from the feet. And, you know, eventually all the medicine getting into the nooks and crannies of the brain and spine. Now with the back activation, straight away, you're getting the medicine straight into the spine. The adrenals are in the back. Adrenal fatigue, massive problem for fruitarians and everyone. Fucking everyone's got weak adrenals, blah blah blah, so stressed and all that shit. Well, ground, localize the medicine put your back to the ground. So therefore it gets into the spine, it gets into the adrenals, and guess what? It's going to hit the whole abdomen, because that's the back, and it just comes into the chest. And in your abdomen, you've got all the organs of the body. You've got the pancreas, you've got the spleen, you've got the lungs, you've got the heart, you've got the small intestines, you've got the large intestines, you've got you've got everything there. So that's what I mean by localized medicine. You are providing this massive center, which has got the throat chakra, the heart chakra, if you believe in the chakra system, it's just got everything here. It's getting localized. Now, if you put your arms spread out whilst you're lying on your back to grounding, guess what? It's going to go into the upper arms, which has a lot of toxicity. What I'm trying to get at is you can localize the medicine. You've got to start being wise. You know, if you put your head to the ground, guess what? That's going to localize the negative ions going into the brain much quicker than spending 2-3 hours grounding through the feet. You can get the job done for 20 minutes with the back activation and your back on. That's what I mean. The more area you expose, obviously, the better. But that's what I mean by localized medicine. Another example, urine therapy. Great to drink, powerful activation, eating fruits too. Eating and drinking urine, fine. Aged urine, awesome. Highly recommend it. Read my book. You know, to drink aged urine sips, very powerful shit. Gets into the bloodstream around the whole body. How about we double up, or even focus on localized medicine? What do I mean? Fresh urine topically over areas that you think are weak or you want to strengthen. For example, your pituitary gland, master hormone. There we go. Rub the fresh urine, rub the aged urine there. Your thyroid. How about you rub the neck? You know, localize the medicine instead of drinking it and hoping that some of it gets round to those bits. And it will, but it will lose something because you're only drinking, unless you're drinking lots. And I don't advise people to drink a lot anyway, that are in my crew, because, you know a lot about health, and drinking a lot is only for beginners that are really unhealthy. So you can localize the medicine to the thyroid. Another one huge that I'm on is localizing your testosterone production, because your testes, as a man, your testicles produce 95% testosterone. So how can you localize that? Well, you can apply fresh urine on your ball sack. You can put it topically. By the way, whilst I'm talking, I'm having a deja vu moment, like a very strange, nice, powerful activation of deja vu. Like I've said this before, or I've been here and said this exact thing before, even though I haven't. So very nice experiencing. So yeah, you can localize the medicine. You've got weak adrenals. Go ahead, rub your back. We know where the adrenals are in the back, the two points at the base of the spine, either side. You can rub the, especially aged urine, you can rub it over that area. If you've got a weak lung area, right, you've got lots of mucus in the lungs, you're a smoker, COPD, emphysema, you just want to have better lungs, better breathing, why don't you localize the medicine to the chest? Do you hear what I'm trying to say? Localized medicine of fresh urine, aged urine, applying it topically. Oh, another localized form of medicine would be sunlight too. This is why, when you put your testicles to the sun, it charges up, and for a woman, yoni, it charges up your estrogen, for men, charges up with testosterone, your sex hormone levels, because you're localizing the medicine. This is why nudism works, because in effect with nudism, or as close to nude as possible, you're localizing the medicine to the whole body activation. The whole body's getting activated. In other words, nudism is perfect. It's localized medicine completely. It's complete coverage of the human body. When we do our aged urine, fresh urine, whole body rubs, we are doing localized medicine. We're drinking, and that's kind of a cool power action. But even more so, when we do the aged urine rubs, 20 minutes, then there's no nook or cranny. The body doesn't get the medicine. It's localized medicine. The thyroid gets it. When you rub, your face gets it, and it goes way deeper than what I'm saying. Because when you do medicine to one part of the body, for example, you just massage your face only. Well, if you believe in reflexology, and I do, you're really doing a lot of work for the whole body, because your face carries the reflexology points for everything. So does your hands, so does your feet, so does your tongue, so does your eyes. You can't heal one part of the body without healing other. So even though we're doing localized medicine, like if I'm just rubbing my face, it's localized to the pituitary, the brain. You think it's not really because of reflexology. It's to everything, isn't it? And I was thinking something else geeky whilst I was saying that, which I've forgotten for a second. Oh yeah, the meridian points too. So when I'm massaging just my face has meridian points for everything in the body. My head has too. How do I know tapping? When we tap, we're doing the meridian point shit. So when I do, just my arm, massaging that, not only am I localizing it to the arm, I'm really doing the whole body. Activating through reflexology, but also meridian points that affect, and the meridian points are connected to things that are not to do with the arm, with just other parts of the body. So you're doing everything with powerful activations. And the point in this video was to think about localized medicine, whether that be localized grounding, getting more activation, like, oh, I've got a weak, I've got a weak heart, or I've got a weak adrenals. Then get your back grounded, man. Start using your brain. If you've got, problems with your brain, start you know, localizing the grounding to the head instead of waiting a long time for to go through the feet to the brain. It takes 40 minutes to go from the feet to the brain, and you can feel it after 40 minutes, and it's always exactly more or less 40 minutes. Something very powerful happens from the feet to the brain. That's how long it takes, but you can localize it and speed up the process and do longer. By the way, that's another thing that I've been thinking of. People say when you go on the beach and you dig a hole and you put someone in a hole in the beach, like you make a hole for them, complete hole for their body, and you know, pile it up and put the sand all around them, just the head poking out. People say that's a very powerful health activation. Well, thinking about it, what do you think you're doing? You're at the beach, you're at negative ions, fresh air, amazing, that's cool. But that person, why is they being completely covered in sand apart from their head at the beach? That's called grounding. That's called localized medicine to the whole fucking body. There's negative ions going in from the air negative ions, and from the sand itself. There's negative ions going because their body's completely covered up in grounding. That's 360 grounding. There's no other place you can do 360 grounding, is there? Think about it. You can't do 360 practically, apart from your head. You can't do 360 grounding anywhere. I mean, naturally, you can have a sleeping bag that's expensive, you can buy expensive sleeping bags, the Tour de France people do, and you can buy it, but I mean, you can't naturally ground your whole body 360, that's impossible. Unless you surround yourself in the beach, right, with a 360. So that's the one reason that I think that explains why people say that digging yourself in a hole and digging yourself up in a beach with just head is very powerful activation, because it's localized medicine 360. You know, I think just as powerful though would be to be close to naked or kaniki tan through shorts at the beach, because then you get sun medicine. You know, you can't get sun medicine while you're grounded and stuck in the... That's something to experiment with, which is more powerful. Maybe I'll come to that at some point in my life, trying out the two. So yes. Anyway, localized medicine, focus, and this is especially key for anyone you know that's diseased, that doesn't believe in urine therapy, for example, and they've got something basic, like spots on their face. Then you can localize the medicine. Tell them, try your fresh urine on the spot. That's called localized medicine, and the medicine goes away straight away, more quickly maybe than if they drunk it, because it's localizing the medicine. If someone's got a serious disease and they know what it is, whether that be prostate cancer, whether that be breast cancer, whether that be thyroid cancer, or whatever problems, it's very easy how to tell them to treat that one, because then you can tell them about localized medicine, fresh urine, aged urine, grounding on the specific areas of the body, right? So if it got thyroid problems, get that part of the back grounded, the whole back. You know, if the adrenals, get the back grounded. All this stuff, you know, it's very simple when we think about it, but yes. Anyway, localize the medicine. To me, you want to be doing both. You want to be taking it, so the blood system, drinking, eating your medicine, fasting, all that shit, fasting does it all for you, but you also want to be thinking about localized medicine too. Getting as much body in contact with the sun is localized medicine, nudism is localized medicine, and then thinking of grounding specific parts of the body more, and also fresh urine topically over areas of weakness or places you want to build up. Like, for example, I said with testosterone, on your sexual hormones, where you produce your sexual hormones and all this stuff. So yeah, okay, localized medicine for the fucking win, or both for the fucking win. And yeah, James, it won't work. It probably won't work. Although, James, I will speak to your messenger about maybe we should do an interview. I do interviews with people on Zoom, so we can do an interview, bro, and find out what you know, and it'd be nice to chat to you. So yeah, all right.